I never thought my life would unravel in the belly of an airport hangar, surrounded by the hum of jet engines and the metallic tang of oil. But there I was, Timothy Hayes, a 32-year-old baggage handler at Seattle-Tacoma, staring at the evidence that proved everything I believed about love was a lie. It started innocently enough, 6 months ago, on a crisp autumn morning when the Pacific Northwest fog clung to the runways like a reluctant lover. I'd been working the graveyard shift, hauling luggage under the relentless drizzle that defines Seattle. My hands were calloused from years of this grind, lifting, sorting, repeating, while my dreams of something more faded like the city's elusive sunshine. That's when I first saw him, Alex Rivera, or so he claimed. He was tinkering with a Boeing 737's landing gear, his broad shoulders straining against a worn jumpsuit, sleeves rolled up to reveal tattoos that snaked like stories across his forearms. His smile hit me first. Easy, genuine, the kind that crinkles the eyes and makes you forget the rain soaking your boots. "Hey, careful with that cart," he called out as I nearly clipped his toolbox. His voice was deep, laced with a faint Texas drawl that didn't quite match the local vibe. I mumbled an apology, but he just laughed, wiping his hands on a rag. "No harm done. Name's Alex. You new here?" "Not new, just invisible," I replied, surprised at my own candor. I'd come out in college, back in my hometown of Spokane, but the airport crowd was a mix of blue-collar stoics and transient pilots. Not exactly a hotbed for romance. Yet there was something about Alex that pulled me in like gravity on takeoff. We started with small talk over lukewarm coffee in the break room. He told me he was a mechanic, fresh from a gig in Dallas, chasing better pay in the Emerald City. I shared bits of my life. The estranged family who couldn't accept my lifestyle, the ex who left me for a straight-laced accountant, the quiet hope for a connection that didn't feel like a layover. Alex listened, really listened, his hazel eyes locking onto mine as if I were the only passenger on his flight. Days turned to weeks, and our conversations deepened. We'd sneak lunches in the shadow of parked planes, sharing stories under the roar of departures. He spoke of his love for machines, how fixing things made sense in a world that often didn't. "People are complicated," he'd say, his fingers brushing mine accidentally, or so I thought. "But engines? They tell you exactly what's wrong if you pay attention." One evening, after a brutal shift, he invited me to his place, a modest apartment in Tacoma, overlooking the Puget Sound. The drive was filled with easy silence, broken by bursts of laughter over bad radio songs. Inside, his space was sparse. A couch, a toolbox in the corner, walls bare except for a faded poster of the Grand Canyon. We cooked pasta, burned it a little, and ended up on the balcony, beers in hand, watching ferries cut through the water. That's when it happened. As the sun dipped behind the Olympics, painting the sky in bruised purples, Alex turned to me. "Timothy, I've been pretending for too long." My heart raced. Pretending what? But before I could ask, he leaned in, his lips meeting mine in a kiss that tasted of salt and promise. It was electric, ketchupy from the pasta, utterly real. We tumbled inside, clothes shedding like old baggage, our bodies intertwining in a rush of heat and discovery. He was tender yet urgent, his hands mapping my skin as if committing it to memory. From then on, we were inseparable. Mornings in his bed, tangled in sheets that smelled of motor oil and him. Afternoons stealing glances across the tarmac. He met my friends, a ragtag group of queer folks from the local bar scene, and charmed them with stories of Texas barbecues and mechanical mishaps. "Tim's got a good one here," my buddy Mark said one night over drinks at a dive in Capitol Hill. I believed it. For the first time, love felt grounded, not like the fleeting highs I'd chased before. But cracks appeared slowly, like hairline fractures in a wing. Alex was evasive about his past. No family photos, vague answers about why he left Dallas. He'd disappear for days, claiming overtime at a satellite hangar. I brushed it off. Trust was new territory for me. Then came the night I found the license. It was a stormy Thursday, the kind where flights grounded and tempers flared. Alex had left his toolbox in my truck after helping fix a flat. Rifling through for a wrench, my fingers brushed paper. Pulling it out, I froze. A commercial pilot's license issued to Alexander Voss, not Rivera, from the FAA. Expiration date recent. Photo unmistakably him. in a crisp uniform. My world tilted. Why hide this? Was he running from something? I confronted him that night in the hangar, rain pounding the roof like accusations. "You're a pilot?" I demanded, holding up the card. His face paled, that smile vanishing. "Tim, it's not what you think." "Then what is it? Who are you really?" He sighed, sinking onto a crate. "I was a pilot. Flew for a regional airline. But I messed up. Badly." The story spilled out. A year ago, in Dallas, he'd been involved in a near-miss incident. Fatigue from overwork, a stormy approach. He'd clipped a runway light on landing. No injuries, but the airline scapegoated him, revoking privileges pending investigation. Ashamed, he'd fled north, assuming a mechanic's role with forged creds. "I couldn't face the failure," he admitted, voice cracking. "And then I met you. For the first time, I felt like I could be someone else better." Betrayal burned hot. "You lied to me. About everything. Not about us," he pleaded, reaching for my hand. I pulled away, storming out into the rain, leaving him alone with his secrets. That night, I drove aimlessly through Seattle's neon streets, tears mixing with rain on the windshield. How could love built on deception survive? Yet beneath the anger, a deeper ache. I missed him already. The days after the revelation blurred into a haze of hurt and confusion. I called in sick to work, holing up in my small apartment in Ballard, surrounded by takeout boxes and unanswered texts from Alex. "Please, Tim, let me explain more." One read, "I love you." Those 3 words, typed in desperation, twisted the knife deeper. Love? On a foundation of lies? Seattle's relentless gray mirrored my mood. I wandered the Pike Place market, the bustle of tourists and fishmongers a stark contrast to my isolation. Memories assaulted me. Alex's laugh echoing in the ferry wind, his arms around me during a rare sunny hike in the Cascades. Was any of it real? My phone buzzed. Mark, checking in. "Dude, you look like hell." Spill. Over coffee at a queer-owned cafe in the Hill, I poured it out. Mark listened, brow furrowed. "Sounds like he's got baggage, but who doesn't? Question is, can you forgive?" Forgiveness felt impossible, yet curiosity gnawed. I dug online, using what little I knew. A quick search revealed articles about the Dallas incident. Pilot error in stormy landing. Investigation ongoing. Alex's name, Voss, popped up, photo matching the license. No criminal charges, but his career stalled. Why not fight it? Why hide? 2 weeks later, I caved. We met at a neutral spot. A park bench overlooking Elliott Bay, seagulls wheeling overhead. Alex looked haggard, stubble shadowing his jaw, eyes red-rimmed. "Tim, thank you for coming," he said softly. "Make it quick," I replied, arms crossed. He explained further. The airline had pressured him to take the fall, threatening his license permanently. Depressed, he'd spiraled, drinking, isolation. "I came to Seattle to start over as a mechanic. It's what I did in the Air Force before flying commercially. But meeting you, it wasn't part of the plan. I fell hard, Tim. Your kindness, your strength, it grounded me." His words stirred something, but trust was fractured. "You could have told me sooner. I was scared of losing you." We parted awkwardly, a hug that lingered too long. Back home, doubt crept in. Was I the fool for believing his smile, or for walking away? Slowly, we rebuilt. Tentative dates. Walks along Alki Beach, talks that peeled back layers. Alex opened up about his past. A conservative family in Texas who disowned him after he came out in the military. Don't ask, don't tell era scars. Flying became his escape, until it crashed down. Our intimacy returned, cautious at first. One night, in his apartment, as rain pattered the windows, we made love with a raw honesty absent before. "I promise no more secrets," he whispered, holding me close. For a while it worked. Winter melted into spring, cherry blossoms blanketing the city. Alex got certified properly as a mechanic, shedding the alias. We dreamed big, road trips to Yellowstone, maybe a house in the suburbs. My family, sensing my happiness, reached out tentatively. A Christmas card from Spokane, a small olive branch. But shadows loomed, whispers at work, That new guy's got a shady past. Jealous coworkers or genuine concern. Then came the call from Dallas, an airline rep, tracking Alex for the investigation's closure. They offered reinstatement if he testified against the company's overwork policies. It's a chance to fly again, Alex said excitedly over dinner at a cozy Italian spot in Belltown. My stomach dropped. But that means leaving Seattle. Us. He hesitated. It's temporary. Hearings, training. I'll come back. Doubt festered. Was this his way out? The high of piloting versus our grounded life? The conflict peaked at a friend's wedding in Portland. Amid vows and toasts, Alex pulled me aside. Tim, I have to go. It's who I am. Tears stung. And what about who we are? He cupped my face. You're my anchor, but I need to soar to be whole. I nodded, feigning support, but inside, betrayal brewed anew. He was choosing wings over us. The drive back was silent, tension thick as fog. At home, arguments erupted. You're running again, I accused. You're holding me back, he shot back, words like turbulence. In the heat, he confessed. During his overtime absences, he'd been taking simulator sessions, preparing for this. More lies by omission. I stormed out, crashing at Mark's. He's betraying you, Mark said. Cut ties. But love isn't logical. I returned, finding Alex packing. Don't go, I begged. I have to, he replied, voice breaking. We parted with a kiss tasting of goodbye, his plane lifting off the next day. Seattle felt emptier, the runways mocking my solitude. Months dragged. Postcards arrived from Dallas, Chicago updates on hearings. Miss you every takeoff. I dated casually, but nothing stuck. Alex's smile haunted me. Then, a knock one rainy evening. Alex soaked, eyes pleading. The investigation cleared me, but I turned down the job. Why? Because flying without you feels like crashing. I was pretending again. Pretending I could leave this behind. Relief flooded, mingled with wariness. No more pretenses? None. I'm here to stay. As a mechanic, as your partner. We embraced, rain washing away doubts. But healing takes time. Trust rebuilds wing by wing. Reconciliation wasn't a straight flight path. It zigzagged through storms of emotion. Alex moved back fully, committing to therapy. For his past traumas, our fractured trust. We attended sessions together in a quiet office near the university district, unpacking baggage heavier than any cargo hold. Betrayal cuts deep, the counselor said, but forgiveness is a choice. I chose it day by day. Mornings now started with honest coffee talks, no secrets brewing. Alex volunteered at a local LGBTQ center, mentoring queer youth in aviation dreams. I joined, finding purpose in sharing my story. Coming out in a small town, loving despite odds. Summer brought warmth to Seattle and to us. We road-tripped to the Oregon coast, camping under stars that rivaled runway lights. Laughter returned, easy as his smile. Intimacy deepened, bodies and souls aligning in ways lies once blocked. Yet high drama loomed, American style, a corporate scandal. The Dallas Airlines overwork issues exploded nationally. Whistleblowers naming Alex as a key witness. Reporters hounded him, turning our quiet life into a media circus. Former pilot speaks out on safety lapses, headlines blared. Alex's face splashed across CNN, his story of the near-miss reframed as heroism. First, pride swelled. You're making a difference, I said, hugging him after an interview. But fame's underbelly emerged. Old flames resurfaced. A ex from the Air Force, emailing congrats, laced with flirtation. Alex showed me, transparent now, but jealousy gnawed. Worse, threats. Anonymous calls from airline loyalists, warning him to retract. One night, tires slashed on my truck. Paranoia set in, we installed cameras, slept fitfully. The climax hit at a Seattle Pride event. Alex was speaking on a panel about queer visibility in aviation. I watched from the crowd, rainbow flags waving. Midway, a heckler shouted, "Liar! You caused that incident." Chaos erupted. Security intervened, but Alex faltered, microphone trembling. Backstage, he broke down. What if they're right? What if I am a fraud? I held him. You're not. You're brave. That night, vulnerability peaked. Tim, I almost lost everything. My career, you. But fighting this. It's for us, for others like us. Our love reignited fiercely, a bonfire against the chill. We made plans. Marriage, perhaps, when dust settled. Alex proposed informally over sunset at Gasworks Park. Ring a simple band etched with coordinates of our first kiss. But betrayal's echo returned. A leaked email from the airline. They'd offered Alex a hush deal. Reinstatement for silence. He'd refused. But why not tell me? Confrontation in our kitchen. Another secret? It was nothing, he insisted. I turned it down immediately. Trust means sharing everything. Words escalated, plates shattering like our peace. Alex left for a hotel, leaving me in ruins. Alone, I reflected. My own insecurities, abandonment fears from family, past loves, fueled the fire. Was I pushing him away? A call from Mark. Go get him, Tim. Life's too short. I drove to the hotel, rain blurring headlights. Finding him, I poured out, I'm scared too, but I choose us. He pulled me in, tears mingling. Me too. Recommitment followed. Alex testified in D.C., exposing systemic flaws. The airline faced fines. Reforms enacted. He emerged an advocate but chose to stay grounded, teaching mechanics at a community college. Our bond strengthened, human in its flaws. We hosted dinners for friends, shared stories of resilience. Love, we learned, thrives in truth's turbulence. As fall returned, leaves crunching underfoot, we walked hand in hand through Volunteer Park. Fool for your smile? Alex teased, referencing my initial hurt. Always, I replied, kissing him. In America's vast skies, we'd found our landing. But fate twisted again. A health scare. Alex's routine checkup revealed a heart murmur, stress-induced from the ordeal. Surgery loomed, risks real. Pre-op in the sterile hospital room, emotions raw. If I don't make it, you will, I interrupted, gripping his hand. The wait was agony, pacing halls with coffee gone cold. When the doctor emerged, successful, relief crashed like waves. Recovery bonded us deeper. Alex, vulnerable in bed, shared dreams deferred. Maybe one day we'll fly together as passengers. We did, honeymooning in Hawaii post-wedding. A small ceremony in a Seattle garden. Family attending tentatively, bridges mending. Our story didn't end in fairy tale bliss. Real life, especially queer life in America, rarely does. But it evolved into something profoundly human. Flawed, resilient, loving. Post-surgery, Alex thrived, his advocacy work blooming. He co-founded a nonprofit for LGBTQ aviators, providing scholarships and support. I quit baggage handling, joining as operations manager, our passions aligning. Seattle became our haven, its progressive pulse syncing with ours. We bought a fixer-upper in Fremont, weekends spent renovating, laughter echoing off walls. Friends became family. Barbecues with Mark's crew, holidays blending traditions, Texas brisket meets Northwest salmon. Yet echoes of betrayal lingered, lessons etched deep. We'd argue over finances, chores, but always circled back to communication. No pretending became our mantra. Highs and lows wove through. Adopting a rescue dog, Buster, who bounded through our lives like joy incarnate. Traveling to Pride in San Francisco, marching hand in hand amid cheers. But lows too. My father's passing, reconciliation unfinished, leaving grief's void. Alex held me through nights of tears, his strength my anchor. Romance persisted, sparks flying in unexpected moments. A stolen kiss in the garage, bodies pressing amid tools, reminiscent of our start. Still the fool for your smile, I'd whisper, eliciting that grin. The ultimate test came years later. Alex's old airline offered a consulting role. High pay, travel. Temptation flickered in his eyes. It's not flying, but close. Fear gripped me. Will you go? He paused, then, only if we go together. We didn't. Instead, he declined prioritizing us. Wings are nothing without roots. Our love matured, laced with empathy. We mentored young couples at the center, sharing our tale. Love survives storms if you navigate honestly. One crisp autumn, mirroring our meeting, we revisited the hangar. Now retired from mechanics, Alex pointed to a plane. Remember, how could I forget? You fixed more than engines. He pulled me close. And you fixed me. As the sun set, casting golden hues, I reflected on our journey. Kicks of drama, swells of emotion. Romance's glow, humanity's core. From deception's depths to trust's heights, we'd soared. In America's tapestry, diverse, turbulent, hopeful, we'd carved our narrative. Not perfect, but ours. And in that profound beauty, the end wasn't an end, but a continuation. Years on, graying at temples, we sat on our porch, Buster at feet, watching fairies. Regrets? I asked. Only that I didn't tell you sooner, Alex replied. But then we wouldn't have this story. He smiled, that same smile, and I fell full gladly all over again.